Today I'm going to be highlighting 6 fragrances from the house of Jovoy Paris. They are 6 that I own, and all of these to me are worth checking out. If you're interested, you know what to do, people. Just stay tuned. What is good, YouTube? Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mikey Cologne. If you're tuned in, as always, people, thank you very much for doing so. Thank you for stopping by. Come in, take a seat, put your feet up and chill out for 20. I've been wanting to do this review for ages, and I've come round now to do it. The 6 that I'm going to go through today, for me, they are all great fragrances. I was going to do a ranked list, but do you know what? I thought to myself, I love all of them. There is not one out of these 6 that I think to myself, yeah, it's okay, it's mediocre. In their own right, they are great fragrances. And quickly, before I get going, I know some people just want to see new releases and they want to find out what's new out, and that is a good thing. But there are so many fragrances out there that are older, that have been overlooked, and they have been left behind. And some of them fragrances, or probably a lot of them fragrances, are worth checking out. So I like to try and find great smelling fragrances for you lot. To me, that is what my job is, or that is how I see myself, is that I want to find great fragrances for you lot to wear and for you lot to try out. I know I don't really talk about lady feminine fragrances. I do try and get some unisex ones in the mix, so it sort of diverses it a little bit instead of them all just being straight up masculine fragrances. But there is a couple of unisex ones in this list. There are definitely some masculine ones in this list, but I just wanted to say it before I get going. Some of these come out in 2011. Some of these come out in 2018. I think one of them come out in 2014. So a few of these fragrances are over 10 years old. But let me tell you something, if you haven't tried them and you think that the notes speak to your interest, they're definitely worth checking out. First off, we're going to start with a masculine one. And I'm going to show you the presentation, and then we are going to dive straight into it. These are all 100ml bottles. They are other perfume concentration. I'm going to stop rambling on, and we are going to dive into this list. So no particular order. First off is Incident Diplomatique. For starters, the quality of the presentation and the quality of the juice is second to none. They are all smooth, very well blended, like there's nothing harsh, rough, rugged, unless the note intends to be that way. In general, these fragrances are of great quality. Incident Diplomatique is a bold, I wouldn't say daring, but it's a very bold, masculine scent. Let's just spray it and then I'll read you the notes quickly. I love the look of these bottles. Look at the presentation. And I've said it once, but I really do. They look stunning on a shelf. Right, you've got Mandarin vetiver, and you've got 2 types of vetiver. You've got Haitian vetiver and you've got Javanese vetiver. You've got nutmeg, patchouli and sandalwood. It is a simple note breakdown, but this fragrance is very effective. This is right. Straight away, it's full on vetiver. You get the mandarin, and the mandarin you do detect that it is mandarin, and it does sort of throw that citrusy, fresh sweetness into the mix up top. And then the vetiver is there, the patchouli is there, and the patchouli sort of plays with the vetiver, because the patchouli can work kind of the way vetiver does. It comes across a little bit earthy, a little bit woodsy in this, so it helps the vetivers in this fragrance, even though they don't really need any help. You do get a little bit of this chocolatey, sweet sort of facet from that patchouli. The sandalwood does add this very light, creamy facet in the dry down, but all the way through this fragrance, it is vetiver, and them two vetivers, they overshadow that sandalwood. In the air, I can't really pick that sandalwood up. It's only on skin and when I dig my nose in that I can really detect that sandalwood properly. It's not very present, and like I say, because you've got two types of vetiver, this is a very woodsy fragrance. It is a little bit smoky, it is earthy. I wouldn't say it's not rough, it's just a little bit damp, earthy, smoky. And I love the way this comes across, very masculine. If you work in an office environment, and I wouldn't say this is a boss fragrance because anyone, you can wear what you want. But if you have got a good job, so to speak, and you do rock a tie, a shirt and a blazer to work, and you're wearing this, or you're going to a meeting, you're going to smell the business. If you're going to a wedding and you're rocking this fragrance, people are going to turn around and say, man, you smell manly, because it is very masculine. But yeah, I love this fragrance. And this is, if you haven't tried this definitely deserves you sampling it. If you like vetiver fragrances with patchouli, it does have a little bit of sweetness in there from the patchouli. And like I say, the mandarin does add that little bit of citrusy sweetness up top. But it is patchouli and vetiver through and through. Great scent. And that is Incident Diplomatique. Stunner. Up next, we have a unisex one. And it is called Remember Me. This is addictive. It really is. I haven't used a lot of these fragrances. I've worn them a good few times. But the more I love a fragrance, the less I use it. That is just how I am. I don't know why. It's just like an ornament piece. It's there, I look at it, I smell the atomizer every now and again, but this is addictive. Right, let me just spray it. Vanillic, lactonic. It's fresh but warm. Lactonic but spicy. Oh, this thing fills the air, it really does. Right, you got bergamot, cardamom and lemon up top. You got frangipani, tea and ginger in the mid, and in the base you got vanilla, milk, cedarwood and woods. This, you get a blast of that cardamom with the citruses. The citruses do throw a little bit of freshness in there. The cardamom is quite heavy on the spice, and then boom, it's lactonic. Once it starts drying down, you do pick up the tea and the ginger. It sort of gives this herbal, singy facet to the fragrance in the mid. But then the ginger and the tea, to my nose or on my skin, they do creep in the mid. But once it gets into the dry down, they slowly fade out. But at this time, it's creamy, it's milky, it is lactonic. The vanilla is amping up. It gets sweeter, it turns warm, it is woodsy. This is a gorgeous fragrance. It really is. I know people like compare vanillic fragrances to Nishane's Annie. That is a great scent. But to me, this is different to that fragrance in so many ways. Like I say, it's unisex. To me, this is a fragrance for a date night, or if you're chilling in with your other half and you want a little bit of playtime, if you know what I'm saying, and you want to come across smelling a little bit seductive and sweet. Give Remember Me a go. Just sample it. It is a fantastic fragrance. I wouldn't rock this scent in the hotter weather. If it's summertime and it's a cooler evening outside and you're going out and you want to rock this, that's fine. When the breeze gets hold of this and this is in the air. I've worn this a few times now and I've had a couple of compliments on it. And one of the compliments is I'd left the room and someone walked in, and then when they walked out of the room, they turned around and said, "Who smells so goddamn good? All I can smell is creamy vanilla." That was this bad boy. Love this scent. I would not be without this in my collection. If I do drain the bottle, which would be years down the line, I guarantee I will buy another bottle of this fragrance. But anyway, that is Remember Me from the house of Jovoy, obviously. Coming up next is the newest one to my collection, and I'm gonna butcher this name. There's a couple of these fragrances that got, I'm not saying funny names, but when I can't pronounce something, to me it's a funny name. So I'm going to give it my best, and I'm not taking the piss. I'm going to try. This one is L'Arbre de la Connaissance. If you like green fragrances and fig, you will love this scent. I'm going to spray it. I'm yet to do an update review on this fragrance. I'm going to talk quickly about it, obviously, because it is in the review. Right, you got green notes, citrus fruits, fig tree, sandalwood and patchouli. Tart citrus, sharp green nuance and an unripe fig. That is how this opens. Sharp, tart, green, figgy, unripe, a little bit woodsy. After about 5 minutes, that tartness, that sharpness from that green note or the green note levels out. Then the woods start amping up a little bit, and then the fig turns to a ripe fig. So it starts unripened, then it turns ripe, and then it's a little bit creamy, and then it dries down a little bit more. Then the sandalwood has a helping hand in the creamy side of things, mixing in with the fig. The fig tree, I think, has a helping hand in the green side of things, plus like a woodsy undertone, which this fragrance has. To me, I don't really get too much patchouli. I know it's there, but it's like more of a, it's extra layer. Maybe it's there to help the fragrance push a little bit, you know, give it a little bit of backbone. I love this fragrance. I have recently fallen in love with green fragrances. I've enjoyed fig for quite a while now, so this for me is perfect. If it is a little sharp when it opens up, but that does level out. Give it time and it levels out and everything gels together, and man, this thing smells great. It is fresh. I think this is an all year round fragrance. It is unisex, so male and female, you can both enjoy the fragrance. If you're a couple and one of you buys this scent, you can both wear it. So if you're a lady and you're watching this and your fella buys this, just nick it off of him, and vice versa. Fellas, if you're watching this and your lady buys this, just nick it off of her as well. You can share it. It is a great scent. And that is L'Arbre de la Connaissance. Butchered, I give it my best. To me, this is another unisex fragrance. If you enjoy amber in your fragrances, you would appreciate this scent. And let's face it, to me, amber is a unisex note because it is used in both sides of the perfumery world. This is Ambre Premier. This is an amber fragrance done right. Smooth, the quality of this juice, it's rich. We're going to spray it. I enjoy doing these reviews because I get to spray the fragrances, I get to smell them, and I get to put you lot onto bangers. And that's what this is all about. This isn't about me. This is about me talking to you lot and trying to get you lot to go out and get and discover great fragrances. It doesn't matter if they're old, new. If a fragrance smells great, it's worth owning. Doesn't matter how old it is. That is the way that I see it, and it doesn't matter how much it costs either. Right, let's spray this. Right, you got spices, candied orange, rose, amber, patchouli, musk and vanilla. This opens up warm, semi-sweet, soft spicy, and then boom. It's a rose, amber, patchouli combo with some orange sprinkled all on top of it. And the patchouli in this is coming across a little bit chocolatey and sweet. It's like you've literally grated an orange, sprinkled it all over the rose, all over the amber, all over the patchouli, and it's all blending in together, and it does give off a little bit of a chocolatey orange vibe. Once you get into the mid, the vanilla comes out a little bit. It never goes too vanillic. Like, you can tell that there's vanilla in this fragrance, but it never goes too much. By this time, that orange is sort of faded and everything's sort of calmed down. I should say as well quickly, in the top, in the first couple of minutes, the patchouli here does also have a little bit of a ever so slight funk, like a bit of depth, but a little bit funky, not off-putting. There's just a little bit of something to the patchouli. I know it does come across chocolatey and sweet, but there is a little bit of depth and funk to the patchouli, but that fades down with the orange. In the late dry down, I do get light touches of musk, very light. This is a great amber scent. This is if you're going to a formal event, if you're going to a party, if you're going to a wedding, if you're going out for drinks, and it is a cooler day, evening outside, you're going to smell great wearing this. This isn't the longest lasting fragrance. You get about 6 to 7 hours out of it. By the 6th hour, it is a light skin scent. But man, does it smell good? Yes. And it's unisex. And that is Ambre Premier. Another great fragrance. This is another one that I'm going to butcher. So I'm going to apologise again, to be polite, obviously. L'Art de la Gueur. I can't pronounce that. I will put the bottles and the name of the fragrances up on screen like I have been doing lately. But this, you've got to enjoy the note of rhubarb. Right, let me spray it. And to me, this leans more on the masculine side. And this is quite a complex fragrance, but we'll get into it. The Parfum concentration, 100ml bottle, again, looks stunning. Right, you've got rhubarb, apple and bergamot up top. You've got violet leaf, lavender, everlasting flower, immortelle and nutmeg in the mid. And in the base is oak, sandalwood, cistus, labdanum and patchouli. This opens with a sharp rhubarb note, accompanied by apple. But the rhubarb is front and centre and it is sharp and a little bit earthy. It's got a little bit of a twang to it. The apple is there and it is tucked right behind that rhubarb, and it's like a green juicy apple, just adding an ever so slight soft bit of fruitiness. Plus the rhubarb is mixing in to the fruity side of things. The violet leaf and the lavender do give this fragrance a little bit of an aromatic twist. There is a lot going on with the notes. You've got that everlasting flower. It comes across that pushes a bit of sweetness in. Plus you get this hay-like effects, like this dryness from the fragrance. You've got the oak moss, the sandalwood. This is slightly fruity at times, woodsy, a little bit earthy, a little bit sweet, a little bit green and herbal. It goes through stages. Like, you would get a little bit of up in the air when you're wearing it. You'll get the sharp rhubarb straight away, but you get a little bit of a fruity twist. Then you would pick up on a little bit of an aromatic facet, and then you would get like this woodsy tone that comes through. It is a great smelling fragrance. Like, this has got some crispness to it, like sharp, crisp. It's got some freshness to it. It's definitely got some depth. This is a great scent. And like I say, I think this leans more on the masculine side. It just comes across as it's quite in your face, loud, especially when you first spray this on. 4 to 5 sprays, you're going to feel the air. It does settle down after about an hour and a half, but it is a great smelling scent. And the rhubarb, it does come across smelling very nice. I know it's a little bit of an unusual accord or note to have in a fragrance, but it does go well with the apple and the bergamot. The bergamot, it does push some freshness into the fragrance, and that freshness stays through the life of the fragrance. But this is a great scent, and that is L'Art de la Gueur. I tried. God damn it. Great scent. Right. This one. This is a gem if you enjoy boozy tobacco fragrances. Pavilion Rouge. What a stunner this is. This is a straight up gentleman's fragrance. If you're watching this and you're a teenager, you can rock it where you want, when you want. But for the occasion to rock this fragrance, you're a little bit dressed up, you're ready to go out with the lads, and you want to smell prim and proper, this, my friends, is a great smelling fragrance. And when people get a whiff of this, they ain't going to dislike this, no way. They're going to be going, what are you wearing? You smell goddamn fine. Right. Let's go. You've got whiskey, sesame, rum, spices, leather, tobacco, coffee, vanilla, benzoin, ebony wood, and tea. This opens up quite heavy on the spice. You're hit with the whiskey straight away. The rum is there, so spicy, whiskey, and then the rum is sitting behind the whiskey, and the rum comes across as like Captain Morgan's, sweet, boozy, soft, spicy, plus you've got spices as a note in this fragrance, so it is quite spicy up top. The sesame is sort of giving the boozy nuance, like this sugary glaze over the top of it. Once the fragrance starts drying down, you do get traces of the vanilla and the benzoin, the ebony wood, right, the ebony wood. The ebony wood I get after about 3 or 4 minutes. I get like a slight woodsy nuance. As the fragrance dries down more and more, that ebony wood just pushes through more and more. And in the base, you are left with the vanilla, the ebony wood, right, the leather. Once, I know I'm going all over the place, it's because I'm excited. Right, I'm going to start from the get-go again. Spicy, boozy, sweet rum, and then you get the vanilla and the benzoin. The leather comes through, and the leather in this is smooth. It just adds depth, structure, character to the scent, and then it dries down a bit more. The wood's more present, the vanilla's more present. The tea and the coffee, right, I get them in small doses. Like, it's sort of, I can detect that they're there, but then they're not. They're like, come in very quickly, very lightly, and then they just fizzle out, to my nose anyway. If you're watching this and you own this fragrance, you might be able to pick up the tea and coffee note a little bit more than what I can, or the accords, but I can detect them faintly and then they're gone again. This is a great smelling fragrance. Boozy, the tobacco comes across a little bit dry and sweet. This is an outstanding, rich, quality fragrance. This is a great boozy scent. It really is. And that is Pavilion Rouge. Right, that is 6 great fragrances from the House of Jovoy, Paris. I believe at retail they're £145 in the UK. And then if you look abroad, they're €145. But if you go on discounters, you can pick these up for about £110, £115. So they are a little bit more expensive, but I'm telling you, if you have got the coin to spend, dive into this house a little bit. These are 6 that I have. There is no way I'm stopping here. They have all been hits. I'm going to keep going and going and going. And before you know it, I'll have 14, 15 Jovoys. You're damn right. And they're going to be all lined up on a shelf. And they're going to look gorgeous. And they're going to smell mighty fine. Right, people, let me know if you've tried any of these fragrances. Let me know which ones you own or have tried from the House of Jovoy. I appreciate every single one of you. And remember, smelling good's always a pleasure and never a chore. And I will see you lot on the next one. Cheers.